Hi, I'm Rob Hardies, the new lead minister of First Parish in Cambridge. And I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself to you, to help you get to know me better as a person and minister, so that you can feel more connected to our congregation. So let's see, a few things about me. I actually divide my time between Cambridge and Washington, D.C., where I live with my husband, Chris, who's a poet and English professor, and our 11-year-old son, Nico, who's just about to start middle school. The latest addition to our family is our puppy, Ashby. So I grew up in upstate New York as an only child with my mom and dad, and one of my earliest connections to the Boston area was that we were Red Sox fans, and so we'd come to Boston to catch a couple of games each year. I love to cook. Part of my family comes from Italy, and I guess that's why I really love to gather people, friends, family around the table to feed them a good meal and connect with people. I think cooking is one of the ways that I express my love and care for other people. And my son loves my baked ziti. After college, I moved out west to Portland, Oregon. The Pacific Northwest really opened up my world for me. I mean, it's where I first discovered my love for the outdoors and for nature and walking and hiking. And I also got my first job there working for Habitat for Humanity, a faith-based organization that builds homes, builds affordable housing. Yeah, at Habitat, we brought people together to work for justice. And at the same time, I saw people's lives being transformed by concretely acting out their faith. So let me just back up for a second and describe a little bit about my faith journey and my path to Unitarian Universalism and to ministry. I actually grew up a Presbyterian and was very active in our local Presbyterian church as a kid. I sang in the choir. I was a leader in the youth group. But when I was in high school, our little church split in two over the question of whether or not gay and lesbian folks could participate fully in the life of our church. And even though I wasn't out to myself at the time, when I did come out later, I realized I'd internalized a lot of those hateful messages that I'd heard during that church fight. I felt like, I didn't have a place in the church anymore, and I felt like, frankly, God didn't love me. It wasn't until after college, living in Portland and working for Habitat, that I happened to walk into a Unitarian Universalist church for the first time. It was actually to try to get them involved in working with Habitat. But instead, I discovered a church that accepted me for all of who I am and celebrated me for all of who I am, and a place where I could finally begin to heal kind of that childhood spiritual wound. I think that's why to this day my ministry is guided by a call to reach out to folks who might have felt left out of church for whatever reason, find a spiritual home. And to help folks, heal the kinds of spiritual wounds that we inevitably accumulate along life's journey. And I think Unitarian Universalism is a tradition really well suited to that kind of healing work. And that's why I'm a Unitarian Universalist minister. So in more than 20 years of ministry, I've worked with congregations as we've led struggles for marriage equality and to expand voting rights and for racial justice and climate justice. And what I've discovered is that when we put our hearts and minds to it, the church can be a powerful force for justice and good in the world. And we can't do this work on our own. I sometimes like to say that the world is too broken to fix with just one pair of hands, and it's too beautiful to praise with just one voice. If you're looking for a community where you can deepen your spirit, if you're looking for a group of people with whom you can help make the world a better place, I hope you'll check us out. And that just as you've heard a little bit about my story today, I can someday hear a little bit more about yours.